stars were everywhere, and they were filling the nighttime skies. In California, this sensational phenomenon was first visible. It was a brilliant light storm, and it was moving east, fast. It hit the Midwest and the desert. And in Texas, cowboys could see it fly. Reports from Chicago were coming in, but what was it, and where was it going? It is a cosmic rush, and it's flying straight into Pittsburgh, PA. Now, this is no ordinary summer night. This is a night when all the stars are out and shining bright. And they have one destination, PNC Park. Tonight, baseball's shooting stars have landed right before our eyes, and they are ready to explode in baseball's Midsummer Classic. It's the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, only on Fox.
Oh yeah, for 7 decades, Major League Baseball and its All-Star Power Act have traveled across the country. Tonight, it is indeed Destination Pittsburgh, the city hosting the midsummer festivities, the ballpark, truly a classic. They come by land. The mass of humanity travel across the Clemente Bridge. They come by sea. There is a riverboat pilgrimage across the Allegheny. Just one goal in mind: get to the Steel City Shrine to celebrate America's pastime. And you have got a front row seat right here on Fox. America, please meet PNC Park. It is buried treasure at the home of the Pirates. And meet Kevin Kennedy. I am Jeannie Zelasco. Really, the regular occupants of this ballpark do not get a lot of national coverage. So this is really a treasure no one knows about.
Yeah, it really is. PNC Park opened in 2001. It salutes the spirit of old Forbes Field, a little bit of Wrigley Field, and a little bit of Fenway. Starting in right field, it's not a 38-foot high wall green monster like they have in Fenway, but it is 21 feet high in honor of Roberto Clemente and the great number 21 that he wore. In right field, yeah, we have splashdown right here in Pittsburgh. It's 455 feet from home plate to the Allegheny River. And yes, there's some people out there looking for some home run balls tonight. Maybe they'll see Ryan Howard or David Ortiz do that. No Man's Land's dead center, 399, also 410. And the wind will blow anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour left to right, Jeannie. So stay away from those left-handed hitters.
Yeah, great ballpark, great game. And if you think this is just an exhibition game, guess again. Check out the excitement in the clubhouses less than an hour ago.
The other thing I'd like to tell you is, you know, we've been catching a lot of heat about the National League. Getting thumped a little bit this year. I think our All-Star team is as good as they come. So obviously we want to win it this year. Those of you that are in the hunt, looking at chances to go to the World Series, home field makes a big advantage. So let's take advantage of this opportunity, and we obviously want to win. Let's get that pride back in the National League. The bottom line is this: no matter how wild a hog, let's bring home the bacon. Thank you, guys. Let's go.
I try to play everyone. Hopefully I can do this, but I don't promise anyone. I'm not going to promise anyone, because the sooner I got to Pittsburgh, the only thing they told me is win, win, win. But I got to try to manage this game like it's the last game in the World Series, because somebody in this clubhouse, it will be helped by you guys in the World Series.
When will this trend die? Since 1997, the American League, Jeannie, has been dominant. 8-0.
Interleague.
Runs per game,
World
batting
Series.
average, home runs, everything has been dominant for the American League. But there was a point in time for about 11 straight years the National League won. Back in the 60s, the National League won. In the 50s, the American League was dominant. So the trend needs to end right now. Phil Garner is set on doing that with a bunch of youngsters, because the American League really has more veterans.
And the National League looking for some redemption, and so is tonight's American League starter. If I would have told you 365 days ago that Kenny Rogers would be taking the mound tonight as a starter, and not being booed in the All-Star game. You might have thought I was crazy. Remember, he had the run-in with the cameraman.
Well, remember, he was an All-Star last year. He came on our show. We interviewed him. We talked to him. He apologized. He made a big mistake. He's paid for it financially. He's paid for it with his reputation. But I've known him for 13 years. He's a good guy. He has 200 wins in the big leagues. A great offseason signing by the Detroit Tigers, and that's why they have the best record in the American League Central.
And he told me yesterday he really hopes all is forgiven because this is about celebrating baseball. Speaking of a fresh start, the Pirates could use that. About the only thing that has gone right for the hometown club since Barry Bonds left town in the early 90s is this ballpark. But don't be fooled, this club has a rich 120-year Major League history.
Baseball in Pittsburgh. The game is as much a part of the Steel City as the gritty blue-collar attitude of its people. Honus Wagner, the Flying Dutchman, was the face of the Pittsburgh Pirates in the early 1900s, winning 8 batting titles. Wagner was considered the game's best player, leading the Pirates to their first World Championship in 1909 against Ty Cobb's Detroit Tigers. It was also in 1909 when Pittsburgh opened Forbes Field, the home of the Pittsburgh Pirates for 6 full decades, and the site of some of baseball's most memorable moments.
Here's a swing and a high fly ball going deep to left. This may do it. Back to the wall goes Berra. It is over the fence, home run. The Pirates win.
Ralph said it was a slider, but I didn't slide. When I hit second base, I didn't touch the ground all the way to home. It's something you dream as a kid, and it happened to me, and I just don't know how to explain it.
And then there was Roberto Clemente. He could not only hit, catch, run, and throw with the best of them, he did it with flair.
Roberto Clemente said one time, he said, I play hard every day because those 40,000 people, maybe one people pay his own money to watch Roberto Clemente play. That's why I play hard every day, make sure when this guy leaves the ballpark, he feel proud to watch Roberto Clemente.
Clemente tallied his 3,000th career hit on what would be his final regular season at bat. His life ended tragically in the 1972 offseason. Roberto Clemente died doing the only thing he may have loved more than baseball, helping others. While trying to deliver relief supplies to earthquake-stricken Nicaragua, Clemente's plane crashed. His body was never recovered.
He really was I call him an angel. I am very happy that 6 graders come to me and they say, I learned about your father in school. Their chapters in their history books, and they want to do well. They want to help people, just like him.
It was a theme song that embodied the brotherhood of the 1979 Pirates, and at the head of that family was a man simply known as Pops. That season, Hall of Famer Willie Stargell not only won the NL MVP, but also rallied the Bucks from a 3-1 deficit to win the franchise's 5th World Series title.
This is a very anchored town. Maybe the glamour isn't there like some of the big city, but it's rock solid. And if you convince people as an athlete in the city of Pittsburgh that you are real, that you're legit, you've got time for them, you own the city.
Pittsburgh's been a storied franchise over the years, period, but how about the All-Star games previously? 4 different times, Forbes Field, the 3 Rivers, and now PNC, the 5th time. Pittsburgh, the National League, has won this game, so perhaps, Jeannie, that's a good omen. And also, 1903 in Pittsburgh, the site of the first World Series, also one of the oldest franchises to stay in one city, and that is 115 years, this ball club, the Pirates, in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Zagin says he has his own omen. He's named his kid after Clemente. He has a Clemente room. By the way, the showers aren't going to dampen anything here tonight. There will be a celebration for Roberto Clemente. They'll stop down the game. You have that to look forward to in your future. First pitch, not too far away, but the game has already started online. Play the 9-9 sweepstakes right now for a chance to win prizes during every inning of tonight's game, including an all-new 2007 Chevy Avalanche. Log on to foxsports.com/contest/baseball. Try and win a Chevy. Thomas Airgood Jr. going to try and win $1 million right now. It is the Taco Bell swing for $1 million. Here's Tim DeBacco, the PA announcer here at PNC Park, with all the details.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the area behind home plate. Tonight, one lucky fan will have an opportunity to participate in the Taco Bell Swing for $1 Million contest. The lucky fan is none other than 18-year-old Thomas Airgood Jr. from Pittsburgh. And to help coach him along, he is joined by 3-time Pirates All-Star Al Scoops Oliver. Now Thomas will have exactly 30 seconds to take 5 swings from the tee at home plate to hit one of the 3 8-foot by 8-foot Taco Bell targets located on the field. And if he does it, Thomas will take home $1 million, compliments of Taco Bell. So now let's cheer on Thomas as he tries his luck for $1 million. Ready, set, go! This is swing number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Cheer him on, fans. Number 5. Sorry, Thomas. Nice try. Thank you for coming, and thank you for participating in the Taco Bell Swing for $1 Million contest. And thank you, Taco Bell, for your support of Major League Baseball.
Well, the kid from Pittsburgh guaranteed to have a good time tonight, even though he doesn't walk away with $1 million. We've got over 24 kids guaranteed to have a good time tonight as well. The fresh faces in the lineups, on the rosters, the fans who brought them here. And Joe Buck will have your starting lineups for the 77th All-Star Game coming up next on Fox.
And welcome back to the Chevy All-Star pregame on Fox. Chevy, baseball's #1 fan, an American revolution. Now it's time to meet the 2006 All-Stars. First, representing the American League, the coaches from the Cleveland Indians, Eric Wedge. From the Toronto Blue Jays, John Gibbons. And now the players. From the Baltimore Orioles, infielder Miguel Tejada. From the Boston Red Sox, pitcher Jonathan Papelbon. From the Chicago White Sox, catcher A.J. Pierzynski. Infielder Paul Konerko. Outfielder Jermaine Dye. Infielder Jim Thome. Pitcher Bobby Jenks. Pitcher Jose Contreras. And pitcher Mark Burley. From the Cleveland Indians, outfielder Grady Sizemore. From the Detroit Tigers, outfielder Maglio Ordonez. From the Kansas City Royals, pitcher Mark Redmond. From the Minnesota Twins, catcher Joe Mauer. Pitcher Francisco Liriano. Pitcher Johan Santana. From the New York Yankees, infielder Robinson Cano. Pitcher Mariano Rivera. From the Oakland Athletics, pitcher Barry Zito. From the Seattle Mariners, infielder Jose Lopez. From the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, pitcher Scott Kazmir. From the Texas Rangers, infielder Michael Young. Outfielder Gary Matthews Jr. From the Toronto Blue Jays, outfielder Alex Rios. Infielder Troy Gloss. Pitcher Roy Halladay. And pitcher B.J. Ryan. And now representing the National League. First, the coaches from the Cincinnati Reds, Jerry Narron. From the Pittsburgh Pirates, Jim Tracy. And now the players. From the Arizona Diamondbacks, pitcher Brandon Webb. From the Atlanta Braves, catcher Brian McCann. Outfielder Andrew Jones. From the Chicago Cubs, pitcher Carlos Zambrano. From the Cincinnati Reds, pitcher Bronson Arroyo. From the Colorado Rockies, outfielder Matt Holliday. Pitcher Brian Fuentes. From the Florida Marlins, infielder Dan Ugla. Infielder Miguel Cabrera. From the Houston Astros, outfielder Lance Berkman. Pitcher Roy Oswalt. From the Los Angeles Dodgers, infielder Nomar Garciaparra. From the Milwaukee Brewers, pitcher Chris Capuano. Outfielder Carlos Lee. Pitcher Derek Turnbow. From the New York Mets, elected to start but unable to due to injury, infielder Jose Reyes. And pitcher Tom Glavine. From the Philadelphia Phillies, home run derby champ, infielder Ryan Howard. And pitcher Tom Gordon. From the Pittsburgh Pirates, infielder Freddie Sanchez. From the St. Louis Cardinals, infielder David Eckstein. Infielder Scott Rowland. And pitcher Chris Carpenter. From the San Diego Padres, pitcher Trevor Hoffman. From the San Francisco Giants, pitcher Jason Schmidt. All right, let's go. Let's meet the American League manager and starting lineup. The manager from the 2005 World Series champion Chicago White Sox, Ozzie Guillen. And now, batting first and playing right field from the Seattle Mariners, Ichiro Suzuki. Batting second and playing shortstop from the New York Yankees, Derek Jeter. Batting third and playing first base from the Boston Red Sox, David Ortiz. Batting fourth and playing third base from the New York Yankees, Alex Rodriguez. Batting fifth and playing left field from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Vladimir Guerrero. Batting sixth and catching out in the bullpen from the Detroit Tigers, Ivan Rodriguez. Batting seventh and playing center field from the Toronto Blue Jays, Vernon Wells. Batting eighth and playing second base from the Boston Red Sox, Mark Loretta. And warming up, batting ninth and pitching from the Detroit Tigers, Kenny Rogers. And now let's meet the National League manager and starting lineup. The manager from the 2005 National League champion Houston Astros, Phil Garner. Batting first and playing left field from the Washington Nationals, Alfonso Soriano. Batting second and playing center field from the New York Mets, Carlos Beltran. Batting third and playing first base from the St. Louis Cardinals, Albert Pujols. Here he is, batting fourth, playing right field from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Jason Bay. Batting fifth and playing shortstop from the Atlanta Braves, Edgar Renteria. Batting sixth and playing third base from the New York Mets, David Wright. Batting seventh and playing second base from the Philadelphia Phillies, Chase Utley. Batting eighth and catching from the New York Mets, out in the bullpen, Paul Loduca. And warming up in the bullpen, batting ninth and pitching from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Brad Penning. As we continue on Fox, we will come back and have the Star Spangled Banner when we return from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
What's your favorite brand, America?
Chevrolet. We love baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Stolen bases, goat cheese, pizza, bottled water, and Chevrolet.
Stolen bases, goat cheese, pizza, bottled water, Chevrolet.
Free agents, rally monkeys, fancy leagues, and Chevrolet.
Whoa, wait, what's a rally monkey?
They go together in the good old USA. Face painters, satellite radio, endorsement deals, and Chevrolet.
Chevy, an American revolution.
Welcome back to the Chevy All-Star pregame on Fox. Chevy, baseball's #1 fan, an American revolution. Well, it has been drizzling. We hope that the rain will push on out of here. This beautiful scene in front of you here at PNC Park. And right now, let's go to public address announcer Tim DeBacco.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please remain standing? Here to honor America with the singing of our national anthem is two-time Academy of Country Music Award winner, Carrie Underwood.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars despite or the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The Chevy All-Star pregame is sponsored by the new Spicy Chicken Crunch Wrap Supreme at Taco Bell. It's good to go. By your Exxon and Mobil retailers, we're drivers too. And by Chevy, baseball's #1 fan, Chevy, an American revolution. We welcome you back to the Chevy All-Star pregame on Fox. How great is this setting? PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It is the 77th Major League Baseball All-Star Game, where the best from the American League visit the best from the National League. The winner gets home field advantage in the upcoming World Series. Welcome to our broadcast booth, everybody, as you look at the standing room only area. Before that, the Roberto Clemente Bridge, where fans walk across and catch the action. This place is fantastic. I'm Joe Buck. Tim McCarver is coming up in just a second. What does the National League want? The National League wants respect. The National League wants a win. They haven't won the All-Star Game since 1996. The American League dominated interleague play this season. And Tim McCarver, you look at the roster, and it's balanced toward the American League in this game. So the question, how does the National League win this game tonight?
Well, the American League is a ridiculously tough lineup and roster to go toe-to-toe with and slug it out. So what the National League has to do, they have to innovate with the first two guys in their lineup. That's Alfonso Soriano, Carlos Beltran. They've got to be aggressive on the bases, but keep in mind, if they're aggressive on the bases, they're aggressive against the best throwing catcher in the history of baseball.
Well, before the game, we heard some from manager Phil Garner of the National League side. He had more to say specifically about the running game.
From my standpoint, I'm going to stay out of it. There are not going to be any signs. You do what you want to do. This is your game. This is where you strut your stuff. You feel like stealing the base, that's your thing, steal the base. You're a power hitter, we're not taking pitches. If it's 3-0, you're swinging if you want it. You got it. So there are no signs. Play your game, do your thing, strut your stuff.
Well, that's Phil Garner. On the other side, Ozzie Guillen said, I'm not going to play everybody on my roster. And if you don't like it for not playing, then make the team next year. He's going to manage just like the 7th game of the World Series. The winner gets home field advantage in the World Series. How good is this setting? PNC Park. The Stars are out in Pittsburgh. Baseball is next. The 2006 All-Star Game on Fox is sponsored by Bank of America. Keep the change only from Bank of America. By your Exxon and Mobil retailers, we're drivers too. By State Farm. Great service and great rates. You can get it all from State Farm. And by Old Spice Deep Cleansing Body Wash. Nothing cleans deeper. This ballpark has been around since 2001, and it is indeed a little jewel sitting here right on the Allegheny River. Capacity 38,496, and for a while they were enduring a brief little rain shower. We understand there will be showers passing through. Dare I say, Tim, is this a kiss of death? We're supposed to be able to just play right on. Is that the kiss of death? Did I do it?
No, I don't think so. No, you're fine.
Take a look one more time at the starting lineup for the American League. It's sponsored by Taco Bell, and you should know the names by now. Ichiro leads it off in right field. Derek Jeter bats in the number 2 spot. Then David Ortiz, Big Papi, hitting third at first base. A-Rod cleans up. Vladimir Guerrero is in left. Ivan Rodriguez does the catching. Vernon Wells gets the start because Manny Ramirez did not show up here in Pittsburgh. Mark Loretta is batting 8th and pitching and batting 9th. And everybody can't wait to see Kenny Rogers swing the bat and hit. Brad Penny is finally healthy. He has had a rough go the last couple of years. He's been basically a 500 performer until this year when he put together this 10-2 start.
Now, almost 2 years ago, traded for his battery mate, Paul Lo Duca.
Our pitcher profile for Brad is brought to you by your Exxon and Mobil retailers.
As you said, Joe, finally healthy, and a heavy, boring fastball with which the American leaguers will have to deal. But how interesting is that? Almost 2 years ago, a 6-player trade that sent Brad Penny from the Florida Marlins to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and a very unpopular trade in sending Lo Duca to the Marlins. Now Lo Duca with the Mets and their battery mates starting the All-Star game.
So Penny is getting set to go, and prior to the game, the ceremonial first pitch, the beloved Chuck Tanner, manager of the '79 World Series champion Pittsburgh Pirates. We are family. And the manager for the National League side, Phil Garner, learned so much from Chuck Tanner during his time here with the Pirates, and he pretty much brought Chuck here to be a good luck charm as the National League tries to get up off the deck and win for the first time since 1996.
Phil Garner, actually a player for Chuck Tanner with the Oakland Athletics back in the middle 70s, and he took him to Pittsburgh. Scrap Iron is managing for the National League.
On the American League side, it's Ozzie Guillen, and he put the lineup together, and no surprise that he would have Mr. 200 hits or more. Leading it off for the AL. Glad you're with us tonight on Fox. And a strike is poured over the outside corner. Ozzie Guillen is still, well, it's Guillen being Guillen. You talked to him before the game and told you what he said to his players. If you don't play in this game tough, try to make the team next year.
He is a beauty.
Basically shared with us his pitching rotation as this game wears on, and just like it is for the National League side, because so many of the all-star pitchers worked on Saturday and Sunday, there are guys unavailable to each manager as we start tonight's game. 1-1 pitch. 2-1. 79 degrees here tonight. And Ichiro trying to get on to jumpstart the AL offense. 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
This guy is a delight to watch. 262 hits 2 years ago. Over 200 hits in each of his first 5 years. That is a major league record.
On top of that, he plays every day. And he's in his 6th year. He's missed 14 games. That's it. And the Mariners are hanging in there in the race in the AL West. Ichiro leans back. It's full count.
That's that heavy, boring fastball we were talking about, thrown by Brad Penny. Throws awfully hard and awfully heavy.
This game starts with a foul on the first 3-2 pitch of the night. Penny is 6'4", 260, 28 years old. And he beat the Yankees 2 times in that World Series for Florida in 2003. Another 3-2 pitch. And a good start for the National League.
Seven straight fastballs from Brad Penny to Ichiro. When a pitcher's on top of the ball usually goes down. This one stays up.
Take a look at the defense for the National League. And it's Soriano in left field. Initially, when the Nationals picked him up, didn't want to play the outfield. He's taken well to it. Beltran in center, and Jason Bay, the Pittsburgh Pirate, in right. Wright, Renneria, Utley, and Pujols on the infield, and Loduca doing the catching for Penny. With one out, a swing and a miss by Jeter. Derek, you know his resume by now. That's what he's done so far during the regular season for the Yankees this year. And in his All-Star past, he's 7 out of 10. He is best when the lights shine the brightest, and he's in the hole 0-2. 98.
This may be the best I've seen a starter in the All-Star game, Joe, since back in 1999 when Pedro Martinez struck out 5 of the first 6 National Leaguers that he faced.
Are you saying there's a glimmer of hope for the National League?
I mean, if Penny pitches.
Boy, he is letting it fly, man.
Talk about letting it loose. Mercy.
I got 2 innings for you tonight, World, and you're going to see my best. And this should be, as we talked early, a pitching-dominated game. You would think, with the kind of bullpen that each manager can go to as we work our way through the game. Wow, 99. And typically, he just doesn't throw this hard.
No. Got a little extra juice tonight. That's a 4-seam fastball up and into Derek Jeter.
Jeter, who is about as good as there is in baseball at keeping at bats alive, fouling off pitches, waiting for a mistake, waits for a 2-2 pitch and takes it low, another full count. And Penny did not like not getting that call from Jerry Crawford, the home plate umpire. It's even got Phil Garner talking to himself. Three-two pitch. And a tap foul. You can quarrel all you want with the idea that the winning side in the All-Star game determines who gets home field advantage in the World Series. It's there. It's been talked about ad nauseum. But the bottom line is these two managers in this game tonight, as we said, are managing this game like it is the 7th game of the World Series, because both managers could end up in the World Series. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the night from Penny.
Two 3-2 counts and 2 strikeouts for Penny to start this game.
I think if you were going to redo your pitching profile after watching these two hitters try and catch up, it might be great fastball and almost a riding fastball because it's taking off from the hand of Penny.
A Mark Wahlberg fastball. Catch me if you can.
With 2 out and nobody on, here is David Ortiz. Third All-Star game for Big Papi.
Oh, man.
97. And it's got Tim Cacklin already in the first inning.
Just get out there and throw as hard as you can.
Why is Loduca even giving signs?
Really? All fastballs so far. As the National Leaguers smiling. Nope. Shook him off.
Why would you change up? Just trying to play with Ortiz's mind. Here, shake off my fastball. Okay, now throw a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. A little wry smile on the face of Phil Garner. On the corner, and Penny is in a spot to strike out the side here in the first inning.
It's unfair to throw that hard and locate that well.
It's like we're watching Wimbledon. You've got everybody in each dugout up on the top step, hanging over the railing, watching this display here in the first inning. A 2-2. Ortiz a pretty good swing, but could not put it in play on a 99-mile-an-hour pitch from Brad Penny. From Broken Arrow High School in Oklahoma. And he is the 10th Dodger to start an All-Star game. If he can pick up 1 more strike here in the first inning, nobody could have started it any better. '20th pitch of this first inning. Man, Ortiz has got to try and crank it up another notch. There's one guy who can turn a fastball around. It's David Ortiz. And Tim, how clutch has David Ortiz been since he joined the Red Sox in 2003?
19 game-ending hits in the last 3.5 years. We talked about it in the game we did, the White Sox and Red Sox on Saturday. I tell you, in my experience over a 3.5-year period, this guy's gotten more big hits than anybody I've ever seen over that period of time.
A guy who at one time was just cut loose by the Minnesota Twins, and Penny strikes out the side. What a start. First Ichiro. Sayonara. Derek Jeter. See ya. David Ortiz. Hasta luego.
America, what's your favorite sport?
Baseball.
Sandwich?
Hot dog.
Pie?
Apple.
And what's your favorite brand, America?
Chevrolet.
Let's see, that's baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet, huh?
Right.
Well, then you'd better tell me again, America, because I just might forget.
We love baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Stolen bases, goat cheese, pizza, bottled water, and Chevrolet.
Stolen bases, goat cheese, pizza, bottled water, and Chevrolet?
Free agents, rally monkeys, fantasy leagues, and Chevrolet.
Whoa, wait, what's a rally monkey?
We love frozen yogurt, luxury boxes, camera phones, and Chevrolet. Mascots, gourmet pretzels, retractable roofs, and Chevrolet.
Apparently, baseball's changed a little over the years, but not America's love of the game or our love for Chevy.
They go together in the good old USA. Face painters, satellite radio, endorsement deals, and Chevrolet.
Makes sense to me.
Expansion teams, mochaccino, broken curtain.
The 2006 All-Star Game on Fox is sponsored by Pepsi. It's the cola. By the new Spicy Chicken Crunch Wrap Supreme at Taco Bell. It's good to go. And by Chevy, baseball's #1 fan. Chevy, an American revolution. Hey, look, it's the first pitch at the bottom of the first inning, and Soriano goes after it and flies it to Ichiro in right. One pitch, one out. Once again, let's give you another look at the lineup for the National League. It's brought to you by Taco Bell. Soriano didn't last long. Then it's Beltran batting second, Albert Pujols hitting third, Jason Bay, the Pirate, cleaning up. Then it's Edgar Renteria, a replacement for Jose Reyes. David Wright, Reyes' teammate with the Mets, Chase Utley, Paul Loduca, and Brad Penny is pitching and batting ninth here at the start. The ball inside to Beltran with one out, nobody on. Kenny would have to throw from 40 feet 6 inches to throw as hard as Brad Penny did in the top half of this inning. That is not Kenny Rogers' game. But here's a 41-year-old left-hander getting his first All-Star Game start.
Brad Penny, a strikeout pitcher. Kenny Rogers, a contact pitcher.
The 1-1. Out in front of it is Beltran. That's strike two. Carlos, a much better year his second time around with the Mets. Last year struggled, a lot of pressure, trying to stay healthy. This year, #6 in the National League with his 25 RBIs, and #7 with his 25 home runs, and #7 with his 68 RBIs. Waits for a 1-2.
Carlos Beltran, one of 3 New York Mets with over 20 home runs at the All-Star break. No New York team has had 3 men on their roster at the All-Star break with 3 players over 20 home runs.
That is hard hit and fair past third, past the diving Rodriguez. Beltran will dig for second, no play, as Vladimir Guerrero dropped it in left, and there's the first hit, a double by Carlos Beltran.
Not a lot of room between Alex Rodriguez and the third base line. And Beltran, hard to believe you can hit a ball down there and keep it fair. But he hit it so hard that Rodriguez couldn't come up with it.
So Beltran in scoring position for Albert Pujols. He was in his 6th season and 5th All-Star Game. Pujols has done some amazing things in a short time with the St. Louis Cardinals. One of just 4 players in baseball history to have 100 or more RBIs in each of his first 5 seasons. An RBI chance here in the first, and he takes a strike from Kenny Rogers. The reigning MVP in the National League. And And since he joined the Cardinals in 2001, that's where he ranks across Major League Baseball in those categories.
Staggering production.
And he gets under it, pops it into center. Out goes Jeter. Derek Jeter, the shortstop, takes it in, 2 down. Our pitcher profile for Kenny Rogers is brought to you by Exxon and Mobil Retailers.
We talked about how Brad Penny is throwing so hard. Well, Kenny Rogers throws hard, but induces ground balls. Excellent move to first base. 2 tough hitters in Soriano and Pujols retired in this inning.
Well, the stage is set for Jason Bay. In his second All-Star game, but appearing at the plate for the first time. Didn't get in the game last year. Beltran at second, 2 out, and a check swing foul. Here's a guy who has basically made himself into one of the top hitters in the National League. A guy who bounced around and was traded 3 times, originally a draft pick by Montreal. He is Canadian. Came to the Pirates and his career has taken off. Trail, British Columbia. 1 ball, 1 strike. The number 2 vote getter in the National League is Jason Bay. A huge push here in Pittsburgh and obviously beyond to get him into the starting lineup. The 1-1. Ripped. Foul. The first Pirate to start an All-Star game since Andy Van Slyke in 1993 is in the hole 1 and 2.
Andy Van Slyke, now Jim Leland's first base coach for the Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers with the best record in baseball over the first half of the season.
And the best story in baseball.
Oh, man.
59 and 29 at the break. 2 games better than the White Sox. Here's a 1-2. High and tight, 2 and 2. Fifth time Pittsburgh has hosted the All-Star game. They would love to see one of their Pirates put the National League on top. The 2-2. Pretty good rip. The 66 RBIs that Bay has at the break, the second most by any Pirate since 1975. Ryan Giles had 72 back in 2000, and Brad Penny is sitting there wondering if he's going to take a lead out with him. He starts the second. And a good pitch by Rogers, tricked him on a pitch down and away, took something off, and the inning is over. A 1-out double by Beltran. He's left out there, and after 1 in the All-Star game, no score. Welcome back to Pittsburgh. Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by Goodyear's new Eagle tire with Response Edge technology, featuring a carbon fiber reinforced sidewall for enhanced performance. Off we go into the second inning. Alex Rodriguez first up. The rain visits us again here at PNC Park. And Brad Penny, who struck out the side in the first inning, gets strike 1 on Alex Rodriguez. Pedro Martinez back in '99, Tim talked about it, struck out the first 4 hitters he faced in that All-Star game at Fenway. That is an All-Star game record. The 0-1 to Rodriguez. 0-2.
Nothing but fastballs so far. We have never seen this type velocity from Brad Penny
over the years, whether with the Marlins or in his time with the Dodgers. Rodriguez flies one foul off to the right. That's out of play.
Yeah, that's one of the big indicators right there. You see last year's MVP in the American League is Roy Oswalt is warming for the National League. But A-Rod's the MVP of last year's New York Yankees. And here he is fouling balls so futilely off to the right.
There's a breaking ball from Penny. Ball one. That was wicked. Now the 1-2 to Rodriguez. Just trying to make contact.
Sure, a lot of people in New England have thought, what if Pedro Martinez had worked against that National League lineup for 9 innings back in 1999? May have struck out 20. Same thing with Penny tonight. I mean, overwhelming stuff.
Rodriguez pops one back and out of play. Alex Rodriguez has gone through a stretch now where they are on him pretty hard at Yankee Stadium. I was thinking today, for a guy like Rodriguez, who has always made the safe quote, and a guy who's always tried to be politically correct, a guy who's been a phenomenal baseball player in his big league career, there's no way hearing what he's hearing from the Yankee Stadium crowd is not affecting him. He waits for a 1-2 pitch from Penny. Grounds to short. Renteria got a weird hop. One down. After that electric first inning, Brad Penny came over to the dugout bench, and Bronson Arroyo, his teammate, had this to say to him.
You don't let it go like that when you're starting, right? Yeah, but not in the beginning of the game. Yeah, I know. I can't. I rarely ever. I say if I'm down, if it's like 7th inning, it's close, down by run, up by run, is the only time I ever let it go all the way. Yeah. Other than that, dude, you'd be wiped out if you did that for 7 innings.
He knows he's got 2 innings tonight, and he misses with ball 1 inside to Guerrero. 7th time that Vladimir Guerrero has been an All-Star. 4 out of 13 in All-Star Game at bats to this point. He's late on that. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Vladimir saw his Anaheim Angels beat the Oakland Athletics 3 out of 4 to move to within 2 games of the Rangers and Athletics that are tied. Both those 2 teams tied for the American League West.
On 1-1, Guerrero hits it into deep right field. That's well hit. Back at the track, at the wall, it's gone. Into the seats in short right field here at PNC, and Vladimir Guerrero has gone deep to put the AL on top 1-0 here in the second. First All-Star Game home run for Vladimir Guerrero.
Such tremendous reach, long arms, fastball out of the strike zone. He just overpowered the other way.
How do you hit that?
How do you hit it the other way with such power and force? That's why he's a 7-time All-Star.
A 98-mile-an-hour fastball up around his letters, and he takes it out the opposite way. And now a ball inside to Ivan Rodriguez. When you talk about Vladimir Guerrero, and the first thing that any scout will tell you is his tremendous plate coverage is unlike any they've seen. There's a line drive caught by Utley. 2 out. There are still some kids up.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, and eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes.
It's compliments of the Wiggles for all the kids out there. Our friends from Australia. 2 out, nobody on, and the batter is Vernon Wells. This was more around the shoulders part of the head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Wells takes it on the inside corner. Here is a tremendous athlete who has been overlooked for a long time, patrolling the outfield for the Toronto Blue Jays. And he hits the ball into center field. It'll drift into the glove of Beltran for out number 3. But in the inning, our first run of the night. And Mr. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes took one up around his shoulders and somehow hit this one out to right. 1-0 AL after an inning and a half. Welcome back to Pittsburgh as we move to the bottom of the second. Edgar Renteria first up, representing the Atlanta Braves. 1-0 AL, and a changeup has Renteria way out in front with Kenny Rogers. He was more of a finesse type pitcher, and Renteria, who's hitting .318 for Atlanta, deals with an 0-1. Takes it low. Atlanta, the Braves, have won 14 straight division titles. They headed to the break hot, but 13 games out behind the Mets. The 1-1 to Renteria. 2-1.
Edgar Renteria taking the place of Jose Reyes, who is injured. And what a disappointment that is to everybody. A young shortstop, only 23 years old, making his first All-Star start. And what a talent he is. Phenomenal.
Down and in, 3 balls and a strike, and there is Jose Reyes, who, even though he can't play because of 7 stitches on the pinky on his left hand, wanted to be here. Same for his teammate Tom Glavine, who bowed out after starting on Sunday. 3-1. That's hard hit but foul. Here's why Jose Reyes is not playing tonight. He says if he can avoid it, he's never going to do this again. Getting spiked by Jacobs of the Marlins, trying to dive hand first into first base. 3-2 from Rogers, and Renteria chops it foul. Kenny Rogers is the first Tiger to start an All-Star game since Jack Morris did it in 1985 at the Metrodome. 4-time Gold Glove Award winner, and this is his 4th All-Star game first start. And after this inning, he will head out of here. Brandon Webb and Roy Oswald now getting loose for the National League side. Back to the Gold Glove Award winner. 1 down. Let's check in with Kevin Kennedy.
Joe, thanks a lot. Hey, Brad, second pitcher ever in the history of the All-Star game to strike out the side in the first inning. Pedro Martinez, the other one. For your first appearance, not too bad.
Yeah, I felt good. It was a little different situation for me. I knew I had 2 innings, and I didn't have to pace myself to get through 6 or 7 or 8. So I was just going out there challenging him, you know, for the most part, throwing fastballs, and felt pretty good.
I don't think it's any disrespect that Vladdy goes deep because he's got like a 34-inch strike zone.
Yeah, and he hits everything I throw, you know, in the past. He's been crushing me lately. He got 2 knocks in Anaheim last week, but he's a great hitter, and he took advantage of a short right field.
And now you're back in the game. You're off the hook, Brad. All right, thanks, buddy. Thanks a lot, Brad. Congratulations. Joe, back upstairs.
All right, Kevin. Well, while you two were talking, David Wright, the 23-year-old stud third baseman from the Mets, took a delivery and shot it over the wall and left to tie this game at 1. The other piece of the electrifying left side for the New York Mets, you got Reyes at short, David Wright at third, and this thing was hammered.
Well, David Letterman is watching right now, and I'll guarantee you tomorrow night they'll be showing this on David Letterman because David Wright's going to be on Letterman, one David to another. And did he ever top hand that ball? Wow.
They finally make the Letterman show for all those Letterman drop-ins right there. Just rolling the top hand and showing his power. He finished second last night in the home run derby. How exciting is the future for the New York Mets? Utley gets a pretty good swing at that pitch, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. You've got a 23-year-old shortstop and a 23-year-old third baseman. We came into this season talking about Jeter and A-Rod for the Yankees, and may go out of this season talking about Reyes and Wright for the New York Mets. There's Jeff Wilpon of the New York Mets, and they've got a lot to be happy with in that injury.
And a 12-game lead in the National League East over the Philadelphia Phillies. Game and a half shy of the 13.5 game lead they had back in 1986 at the All-Star break.
Here's a 2-1 to Utley. Good pitch, 2-2. Ozzie Guillen naming his starter Kenny Rogers, and of course he pitches for the rival now, Detroit Tigers, and he said Kenny Rogers is my starter, and he's going to pitch 10 innings. Trying to wear down one of the game's best. Here's a 2-2. Utley. Nice try by Rogers. Jeter can't get it to first in time, and it's an infield hit for Chase Utley, and it's more for you about David Wright.
Hi, I'm David Wright, third baseman for the New York Mets. I am from Chesapeake, Virginia, and Virginia is for lovers. I might be number 5, but my favorite show is 24. 24 keeps you on the edge of your seats, and the suspense is crazy. Jack Bauer's the man. I mean, he always finds a way to get out of sticky situations. For some reason, I like to rock the pastel shirts. Wait a minute, this isn't pastel.
Well, now you know two things. A, we played that because he mentioned 24, and B, not only is the guy a great player, but you can just see with the smile he has on his face, whether it's here at the All-Star Game or daily for the New York Mets, this is a marketable young player that the Mets can hang their hat on.
His mother Alicia and his father Ron here with his 3 younger brothers, and all are good baseball players, we understand.
Paul Lo Duca, Tim, was the batting practice pitcher, the home run derby pitcher for David Wright last night, and now he's at the plate also representing the Mets, and Rogers has even the count at a ball and a strike. Ozzie Guillen talking about the desire to get out in front and then use his great bullpen. Names like Liriano and Santana, and then the closers. Rogers starts it, beautifully turned 1-6-3 to end the second. We're tied 1-1. Couple of home runs in the All-Star Game. AL-NL. Back after this from your local Fox station. Now, as we get ready for the third inning in this All-Star Game, it's time for the Burger King Have It Your Way home field advantage. This beautiful ballpark from the city of Pittsburgh looking across. The Roberto Clemente Bridge not only provides a scenic backdrop, but it's also a convenient way for fans to arrive to the game on game days. No car traffic on that bridge. You can get across the Allegheny and check out Pirates baseball, and for tonight, All-Star baseball. Remember, you can always have it your way at Burger King. Here in the third inning, it's Roy Oswalt taking over from the Houston Astros, and he hits the outside corner with strike 1 to Mark Loretta. A replacement was Oswalt, his manager Phil Garner naming him to the team, and he will deal with Loretta, a pinch hitter, and Ichiro here in the third. To the right side for Pujols, a bad hop and a barehanded grab, 1 out.
Oh boy, how about that? That's a page out of David Wright's book. Last year, David Wright over the shoulder caught it barehanded. Watch this. Just throw your glove away. Forget it.
Here's a guy who in his first All-Star game ended the game playing second base. He can play all over, and he is very underrated defensively at first.
You're right.
And he actually cracked a smile, which is allowed in the All-Star game. I know it counts. I know it counts, but you can smile in the All-Star game. Here are the numbers for Oswalt. Penny went 2, allowed a run on 1 hit, the Guerrero home run. Here's Maglio Ordonez batting for Kenny Rogers. Strike 1. Maglio has had a rebirth. He's finally healthy. The lower half of his body is healthy. It's improved his bat speed. And he is a big reason why the Tigers are having fun again. 1 ball, 1 strike. Roy Halladay is getting loose for the American League. Roy Oswalt, the 1-1. 2-1.
A lot of people in Chicago saying, well, why let Maglio Ordonez go a couple of years ago? Well, the reason for that is they signed Jermaine Dye. And Jermaine Dye, not only an all-star, but one of the most proficient hitters in the major leagues this year.
And the most productive right fielder swinging the bat 2006. That is outside 3-1. 3-1 on Ordonez, who had a great 4-year stretch with the White Sox, 99 through 2002, averaging about 125 RBIs a year. That's on the corner, full count. Ordonez strikes out. First two are gone here in the third inning. Ken Rosenthal from FoxSports.com has been joining us on Fox Saturday Baseball. It's been great to have him, and he's with us tonight in the All-Star Game. Turn around and tell that guy to sit down behind you. You got a guy breathing down your neck, but tell us all about Ichiro.
Well, Joe, Ichiro is only 32. He's headed for a 6th straight 200-hit season. He's generally going to get the 10 years of dominance that voters want from their Hall of Fame candidates. And keep in mind, he began his career in Japan. What a step it would be for the game's internationalization the day this guy takes the podium in Cooperstown.
Yeah, and you start, Kenny, looking at his numbers. They're piling up. They're more impressive every year. As I said earlier, he answers the bell every day, and he has almost freakish hand-eye coordination. And he's also one of those guys, Tim, and you saw him. I think Gwynn was in the category. Wade Boggs was in the category of somebody who could hit more home runs if it was a priority. But that's not the way he approaches hitting at the big league level.
I've never seen anybody hit successfully like this.
3-0. Boy, moving around and the way he...
Moving around, the head's moving all the time, but the bat is always back.
Swinging on 3-0.
There's that swing, high leg kick. Guy's just got tremendous balance. We saw him walking through the tunnel today, and you know, he conjures up thoughts of a ballet dancer when he walks.
And he's on, maybe. That ball stays in the air for a long time, and Bay makes a nice catch around the shoot tops. Bottom of the third inning in Pittsburgh, still tied, 1-1. Waiting out in the Allegheny River for maybe an All-Star Game souvenir. Something from Huck Finn and some kayaks. The temperature of that water out there in the Allegheny, 72 degrees at last check. And Roy Halladay will take over. Former Cy Young Award winner from the Toronto Blue Jays, regarded as one of the best, not the best, right-handed starter in the game. And here's your rare Halladay-Holiday matchup as Matt Holliday from the Colorado Rockies steps in to hit for Oswald. Takes a pitch down and away, ball one. Phil Garner is the manager of the National League side. First of all, Phil, have we put you in a place where you can actually see the action?
Well, thanks. You gave me a short leash down here, and I'm wandering all over the place trying to pick out a spot where I can see.
We don't want to bug you too much as Holiday grounds out. I know that you've got your work cut out for you in a game like this where you're balancing getting everybody that you can into the game, yet keeping people back in case we end up in an extra inning game.
Well, unfortunately, when you're trying to win the ball game and you might have to go extra innings, then obviously somebody's not going to get a chance to play if you don't go extra innings. So there's probably going to be 3 or 4 pitchers that have a chance of not pitching in this game, and that's unfortunate. And there'll be perhaps a position player or two that might not get into the game.
Phil, I'm sure that there are a lot of people listening in wondering about Roger Clemens and his stuff so far this year.
He's been absolutely fantastic, Tim. The man's amazing. I feel like he's I don't know if you could say the man's hitting his prime or not, but he's certainly doing a fantastic job. You know, with a little better offensive support, he could be 3-0 right now.
Phil, you got Soriano on. We took a listen to your pregame speech. You said if what you do is run, go ahead and run. And this is that matchup that we talked about before the game of Soriano on at first and the great Ivan Rodriguez behind the plate.
Well, and this is where, you know, if you're playing a regular game and you've got the top of your lineup coming up and the guy that throws like Rodriguez, you'd say don't go. But this is an all-star game. I'm sure people are as excited as I am. If Soriano decides to run, we're going to see what, and here we go. He's off and going. Let's see what it is. He's got it. Okay. That's what people love to see that. I like seeing that.
That's got you happy down there in the dugout.
Yeah, we like that. Let's go.
He may not be through either, right, Phil?
Hey, we have no stop signs. So, hey, you run until somebody tags you out.
You have no signs.
This is old Little League ball right here.
Do you have any signs, period?
No, we have no signs. The whole ideal here is, and you heard us talking, and you saw the little pregame speech. You know, these are all-star guys. Instruct their stuff, and then you do what you do. If what you do is run, and Soriano's got great speed, you do your thing. There are no 3-0 counts, you know, where you might take it if you're down a couple runs. I'm sure everybody wants to see Carlos Beltran hit. You want to see Jason Bay hit here in Pittsburgh, and I love to watch Albert Pujols hit. And look at that ball. That's a bullet right there. We got a great arm in center field. We're going to see what's going to happen here. Oh, no. Well.
Out at the plate is Soriano, and there you go. There's a play from Vernon Wells in center. That's what this game is all about.
All right, that's what it's about. Yeah, that's what we got to see. We saw a great play, a nice swing to the bat, kid. That'll way to go.
Phil, you've got a headset on. You can't even argue.
I'd have to argue that play right there. I told Jerry I wasn't going to argue, but I'd have had to go out there and argue if this thing had been long enough. Sure looked to me like he was already on the plate. I'll at least stick my tongue out at it.
Well, if it helps, just take the headset off and run out there.
Okay.
So here we are. You've got a runner at second. You've got Pujols at the plate. And Phil, we all know the history. If there's one guy who's been a thorn in the side of your Astros, it's the guy at the plate, Albert Pujols.
Well, one of our coaching staff said a few minutes ago, we've never seen him pop up before, except for his first at bat. We didn't know he could do that. So. He's got another run in scoring position right here. Let's see if he can do what he does best, and that's drive a run in.
Beltran is out at second with 2 down in the inning. He's stealing third. The throw down is not in time.
Okay, well, that's what we do.
Well, how are you on how's that rate on the Phil Garner meter? Were you happy he took off there? Is it worth the risk?
Well, I've had Carlos before, and I know that he is exceptional timing on his base stealing, which what I mean by that is he rarely gets thrown out. When he steals third, he rarely gets thrown out. He has an uncanny knack for picking the right pitch. Yeah, it's from an old baseball adage, it's 2 outs and not a very, I'd say, high percentage plays. But look here, how do you know what's going to happen? That's smart playing. That is smart playing right there.
You know what that is,
Just as I was saying that.
Phil, you know what that is? That's just great managing.
It is indeed. Nice going, kid. Way to make something happen. That'll baby. All right. That'll babe. All right.
So there you go. Beltran takes second on the throw home. He steals third with 2 out, Pujols up, and he scores on a wild pitch.
Well, there's another side of this adage, the old baseball adage. He's going to throw Pujols a lot of breaking balls, typically what they do in these kind of situations. And it turned out he got one in the dirt. That's an old Chuck Tanner move. He used to jump out when get a guy on third and say, watch for the ball in the dirt, sort of putting that ideal in the pitcher and catcher's mind on the field.
Phil, that's the National League's first lead since you played.
Well, it's been that long, huh?
No, it's been since 2003, but there you are, up 2-1 in the 3rd inning. That feels good, huh?
Well, it does. I tell you, it's exciting to watch these big men go at it up here, and I'm sure that the scoring's not done tonight. As great as our pitching is and theirs is, I'm sure there's more to be done here.
Hey, thanks for your time, Phil, and have fun. That's Phil Garner, manager of the National League side. His crew up 2-1 after 3 in Pittsburgh. The 2006 All-Star Game on Fox is sponsored by Chevy, baseball's #1 fan. Chevy, an American revolution. Our Subway Fresh Buzz trivia question. 25 fresh faces were selected to tonight's All-Star Game. What is the record for the most first-time selections? So there are 25 newcomers to this game here tonight. What's the record for the most? As we go into the 4th inning with the National League on top 2-1, Jason Bay will move from right to left. He's used to playing out there in left. Matt Holliday is now in right field. And the new pitcher from the Arizona Diamondbacks is Brandon Webb.
We talked about Brad Penny, the starter tonight, and how hard he throws. Brandon Webb has the best sinker in the game. Bottom falls out of it.
There's a strike on the outside corner to Derek Jeter. Jeter struck out his first time. Ortiz will follow, and then Alex Rodriguez. Webb got off to a flying start. That one's on the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Tapered off a little. Ozzie Guillen is the manager of the American League side. And Ozzie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
2-1 here in the third inning. You and I talked, and Tim did as well, about you guys trying to get out in front to use that great bullpen. And the National League looked like they're going to give you a fight tonight.
Well, I think they're playing the game the right way right now. I think at the center field, but trying to steal those two bases. They be aggressive on the base pass, and that's why they're up by 1.
No balls, 2 strikes. Jeter fouls it. We talked to Phil Garner. He said he had no signs. We talked to you before the game, and you said that your signs are pretty basic. What are your signs tonight?
Bunt and run.
That's it?
That's it. We don't have that many signs. I think with this lineup, I think they know how to play the game, and we're facing pretty good pitching staff, and we see how we do. Hopefully we get on base, we can start running people.
It's down and in 1-2. How many calls did you get? How many calls did you make to other managers about who's available and who isn't, which pitchers are available to pitch, and which you'd like to keep out of this game?
Well, we talked to the Boston Red Sox. Papi Bon it was little tender. He was up 4 times last weekend, and he pitched a lot of innings. And I talked to him about it. I tried to stay away from him. And Jose Contreras, Soto Jose, I think we tried to get Kurt Schilling on the game, but he was also. He pitched last Sunday, and he got the same problem.
He got hit by a batted ball. I know that you spoke with Schilling. Everything okay there between the two of you?
Yeah, everything's great. I tip my hat to him because that line dry. I thought he got to keep me out of the game, or the Suns struck out the next 2 batters, but he got smoked pretty good.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Jeter is fooled way out in front. He's gone to start this 4th inning. You told us before the game that you're going to manage this, Ozzie, like it is the 7th game of the World Series, because at some point somebody in that locker room that you're managing tonight, whether it's all the White Sox you brought with you or somebody else, is going to get an advantage if the AL wins this evening.
This is an important game for everyone. I think the sort of National League manager think the same way. I think this is a big game for the field advantage in the World Series. Hopefully we continue to play good against these National League players, and that's really important for us. I think it's a pride, and besides the field advantage.
Is the American League that much better this year? I'm not talking about within this game, but just talent-wise in the way that the AL dominated interleague play this season?
Well, you look at these ball clubs, a lot of young talent on the field right now. I think right now the way the general manager build the ball clubs in this league is amazing. I mean, every lineup is pretty strong. And there's one thing about it, I think every general manager try to compete like in Boston and New York. Obviously, they bring the best lineups to the game, and if you want to win the American League, you better bring a good stuff, because they have the Detroit Tigers build a great ball club, and you got to compete against those guys all year long.
Meanwhile, Ozzie, this has got to be a tough hitter for Brandon Webb, because to be successful, he's got to keep it down. Ortiz a low ball hitter.
Well, it's a big pop. He's one of the best clutch hitters in the game. I'd rather pitch to Manny Ramirez, pitch and face him. When this kid is locked in, it's real danger.
Hey, in a little bit, we are going to honor one of the game's all-time greats, not just players, but humanitarians, Roberto Clemente. What did his legacy mean to you as a player?
Wow, I think this guy opened the door for a lot of Latin people. I think when Clemente grew up in the game, was a lot of problem by colors and being Latino. And these guys, a lot of people know what he did on the field and the way he died. But I think the way Roberto Clemente was treating people, the way Roberto Clemente went about his business, is a nice example. But not the Latin players, but everybody played the game.
Earlier in the year during the World Baseball Classic, when Alex Rodriguez, who's walking to the plate, was changing his mind as to which side he would play for, Dominican, the USA, you took a shot at him, and I've read where you said that is one of the most regretful moments you've had in your time in the big league.
Well, I tried to help him, because he got a cut between representing the Dominican Republic and the United States. And then, I talked to him before that in New York, and I tried to help him. All the song, I just killed him. I think I regret it, because I put Alex in the spot, hang on his family, the New York fans, New York organization in the spot it should be. And, everything was good, everything was clear. I thought Alex just had to represent United States, because he's born, raised, go to school. It's always nice being here. His mother and his family, they are Dominican, but, you know, you just grow up in this country.
Ozzie, thanks for your time as always, and good luck to your White Sox in the second half of the season.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Ozzie Guillen. It's 2-1 NL as we've played 3.5.
Once again tonight, Subway Fresh Buzz trivia question is 25 fresh faces were selected to tonight's All-Star Game. What is the record for the most first-time selections? As the fastball is low to Jason Bay. And the trivia question answer is 1988 and 2003. 32 first-time selections.
Bay takes a rip at that pitch delivered by Halladay, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. And yet again, Tim, we've been separated in the All-Star Game.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Tim.
How do you like it down there?
It's nice. A lot better than being up there. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jason Bay. As we go along here in the bottom of the 4th inning, at the end of the inning, we will pull a podium out onto the field and we will honor one of the all-time greats in the history of this game. The favorite here in Pittsburgh, Roberto Clemente. Favorite now is Jason Bay, and he's on with that looked like a hanging breaking ball down here, Tim, from Halladay, and he singles into left center field to start the bottom of the 4th. I could be wrong.
And that stirs the crowd here in Pittsburgh. Yeah, it was. It was a breaking ball. Not a bad pitch from Halladay. He didn't make too many hanging curveball pitches. A little up, and Bay smacks it to center.
So the leadoff man is on for the National League for the first time tonight. Renteria takes low, ball 1. Halladay is the second pitcher of the night. Rogers went 2, allowed a run on 3 hits, no walks, a strikeout, allowed the home run to David Wright, who's standing in the on-deck circle. To the right side, Loretta, Jeter, 4-6-3 double play, 2 out, nobody on here in the 4th. And that will bring the aforementioned David Wright to the plate. Just raining a little bit down here, Tim.
It is.
Yeah.
Sorry you wore your light-colored suit?
A little bit. I think it's well made, though. I don't think it'll unravel. But you never know. It'll be fun to find out. Wright hit a line drive home run over the wall and left his first time up. And I think it's becoming more and more obvious, Tim, that David Wright is not fazed by anything.
No. This against Kenny Rogers in the 2nd inning, that tied the game as David Wright puts the National League on the scoreboard.
That's right. It tied the game at 2, and then that manufactured run in the bottom of the 3rd as we were joined by Phil Garner, who held his breath while Beltran stole 3rd with 2 out, Pujols up, and then Carlos scored on a wild pitch to make it 2-1. Good game. Well pitched game, and that's not a surprise with the list that each manager has to go to here in Pittsburgh tonight. 2-1. 3-1. The red-hot New York Mets, Beltran and Wright, a couple of their representatives here tonight, 3 for 3 with a home run, a single, a double, and 2 runs. Wright hits it to Jeter. That'll do it for the National League. They send 3 to the plate. And we will come back with our ceremony in just a moment from PNC Park here in Pittsburgh.
The 2006 All-Star Game on Fox is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Subway, play hard, eat fresh.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight here in Pittsburgh, as the game's best players gather on the field, Major League Baseball stops to remember a man who symbolized excellence both on the field and off the baseball diamond. There have been 9 recipients of the Commissioner's Historic Achievement Award, all recognized for the tremendous accomplishments on the field of play. But tonight, for the first time, this award takes on an even deeper significance. to honor not only a great baseball player, but to honor a life committed to helping others, to honor a life well led. Here for the presentation, escorted by Hall of Famer Bill Mazeroski, please welcome the Commissioner of Baseball, Bud Selig, and the wife of Roberto Clemente, Mrs. Vera Clemente.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Major League Baseball, I am very pleased to have the privilege of presenting the Commissioner's Historic Achievement Award to Roberto Clemente. The Commissioner's Achievement Award is presented to a player or former player who has made an enormous historical impact on the game of baseball. Roberto Clemente has done that. Roberto was a legend not only in Pittsburgh, not only in the Latin American community, but he was a legend and still is throughout America and around the world. He was truly one of the game's all-time great players, a Hall of Famer with 3,000 hits, a .317 lifetime batting average, 14 All-Star Game appearances, 12 consecutive Gold Glove awards, and named the 1971 World Series Most Valuable Player. More importantly, Roberto Clemente was and always will be remembered for his wonderful humanitarian efforts. Roberto Clemente was taken from his wife Vera, his children, and from all of us much too young, while escorting a plane load of emergency supplies to earthquake victims in Nicaragua on December 31st, 1972. Roberto was a hero in every sense of the term. He was idolized by fans here in Pittsburgh and throughout America. Roberto will be remembered as long as the game of baseball is played. Vera, I want to thank you and your family for being with us tonight, and I am truly honored to present you with this award.
Thank you very much. On behalf of my husband, Roberto, and my family, I want to thank you for this great honor. And to all Roberto's fans from all over and from different generations, I want you to know that Roberto still loves you from heaven.
Thank you, Vera. What a special moment here in Pittsburgh for the entire Clemente family. You guys having any fun here tonight? Let's go to the 5th inning of the 77th Major League Baseball All-Star Game. We'll continue right after this.
In relief of Brandon Webb, as Vladimir Guerrero is the batter, Freddie Sanchez is the shortstop. He'll hit the #1 spot. Arroyo, a trade from the Red Sox this spring for Willie Mo Pena. And what a year Arroyo's had. Wright and Sanchez collide, and it's Sanchez who makes the play in foul territory. I'm really surprised this doesn't happen more in all-star games. Collisions among middle infielders, corner guys. And you can see Sanchez almost pushing Wright out of the way to make the play. So 1 out here in the 5th inning as my partner Joe Buck, after a super job on the field, returns for the play-by-play. Good job.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That was nice.
Really nice.
Nice moment here in Pittsburgh. And, you know, you think about, it's been over 30 years since Roberto Clemente played for these Pittsburgh Pirates, dying in 1972. Rodriguez hits it off the end of the bat. 2 out. And young and old are here to honor Roberto Clemente here at PNC Park tonight. The 2006 All-Star Game on Fox is sponsored by Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade. It's in the MLB. Is it in you? And by AOL. Want a better high-speed internet? You belong at AOL. Bronson Arroyo, who was wearing a microphone earlier, is through the first 2 hitters here in the 5th inning, 2-1. The National League on top. Bronson, whether it's been with his time here with the Pirates, by the way, they cut him loose, had a great run with the Boston Red Sox, and now has been one of the main reasons why the Cincinnati Reds are right in the thick of the NL Central and the wild card chase. He is multi-talented. He gives up a base hit through the left side off the bat of Wells. And with 2 out, Wells is on here in the 5th inning, tying run aboard for the AL with Loretta coming up. If you didn't know, Bronson Arroyo was named after the late actor Charles Bronson. Had a pitching mound at his home as a kid, and that's what I talk about. He's multi-talented. Released his first CD. He can play guitar, he can sing. Mark Loretta at the plate, standing in the way of a scoreless inning for Bronson Arroyo. Tying run on at first, 2 out, 1 ball, 1 strike.
When you're from Key West, Florida, you do that very well. Play the guitar and sing.
So if you were from Key West, Florida, you would play the guitar. I know you sing.
Cheeseburgers in paradise, baby.
1 ball, 1 strike. Loretta lines one to short, up to get it. For the out, Freddie Sanchez. They love him here in Pittsburgh. Bronson Arroyo, take us to break.
Today is gonna be the day that we're gonna throw back to you. By now you should have
An important lesson I learned is to never give up.
Major League Baseball and the Boys and Girls Clubs of America teach kids the importance of never giving up.
Home run, Big Papi spikes again!
Big kid, big effort, big smile. I guess that's why they call me Big Papi.
Major League Baseball is a proud sponsor of the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Together, they create a positive place for kids.
We are halfway through this 77th Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Joe Mauer, terrific young catcher from the Twins, takes over. Michael Young is in the lineup at second base. Out and left, Gary Matthews Jr. takes over for Vladimir Guerrero and Grady Sizemore from not too far away. The Cleveland Indians is now in center, and Barry Zito, the left-hander, takes over. Rogers, Halladay, Zito. So many good power arms left for Ozzie Guillen to come out of the bullpen, and Chase Utley is first up for the Phillies. This summary is brought to you by Nissan, as Utley will lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. Vladimir Guerrero hit the home run, his first in All-Star Game play. That got the scoring started. Then David Wright, the 23-year-old, tied it. And in the 3rd inning, on a wild pitch, Beltran scoring, the National League took its first All-Star Game lead since 2003. Utley singled his first time up. Loduca will follow. And then Holiday. Barry Zito is a free agent to be. Kenny Rosenthal is still with us. Ken, A, do you see him getting traded before the end of the year? And B, where do you think he'll end up next year?
Barry, I don't see him getting traded as far as that's concerned. But as a free agent, he recently switched agents from Arn Tellem to Scott Boras. He's going to leave Oakland. There's no question about that. One of the New York teams is going to be in there. The Dodgers, most baseball people believe it's going to be those 3 teams. If A.J. Burnett was 5 years, $55 million, Joe, what's this guy going to be? He's left-handed. He's far more accomplished. Start the bidding at about 5 years, $75 million.
Maybe he doesn't need a new agent other than you.
He's pretty good.
The deal for him. That sounds good, though. 5 years, $75 million. That is a nice start. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Utley is jammed, and he pops it up into shallow right. Out is the second baseman, Michael Young, and he's there for out number 1. Just so you know, if you're trying to score along with us at home, and I can barely do it here at the game, Michael Young is batting 5th. Mauer is hitting 6th. Matthews 7th. Zito 8th, and Grady Sizemore batting 9th, meaning he'll lead off in the 6th. So while we give it to you, maybe Phil Garner's trying to get through the same. It is not easy, and you constantly find yourself playing catch-up in an All-Star game with these lineups. 1 out, nobody on, and Loduca rips it to 3rd. Bad bounce. Rodriguez bounces it, and then David Ortiz, typically a DH, saves an error for Rodriguez.
David played a few games during interleague play, but Rodriguez recovering quickly, but threw it in the dirt. And a nice backhand pickup by David Ortiz. Well done.
So Rodriguez, who won the AL MVP award last year, Ortiz, who finished a close 2nd, is there to bail him out here in the 5th inning tonight. And with 2 out, nobody on, here is the 2nd at bat for Matt Holliday, grounded out his first time up. It's on the inside corner, strike 1. Foul back, 0-2. Log on to foxsports.com/contest/baseball now for a chance to win apparel, a trip for 2, a flat screen TV, and an all-new 2007 Chevy Avalanche in the 9 and 9 sweepstakes presented by Chevrolet. Holiday hits it in the air to left field. Back at the track near the wall for the final out as Gary Matthews Jr. hauls it in. Holiday gave it a ride, and out in that little extra corner, it came to rest in the glove of Gary Matthews Jr. There's the reaction from the bench when David Ortiz made the scoop at first. 2-1 after 5 NL. They said they were going to do it, and they've done it tonight. The National League using its running game, manufacturing a run back in the 3rd to take the lead. It's still 2-1. Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by Goodyear's new Eagle tire with Response Edge technology, featuring a carbon fiber reinforced sidewall for enhanced performance. Beautiful sight in a great ballpark. One of the best in Major League Baseball here in Pittsburgh, and Grady Sizemore is first at bat against a nasty left-hander, Brian Fuentes from the Colorado Rockies. Brian McCann takes over behind the plate. Loduca is out. Sanchez moves to second base, and David Eckstein takes over at short. 2-1 National League, top of the 6th. 0-2.
Brian Fuente, it can be very, very nasty on left-handed hitters. And I think Phil Garner bringing in Fuente intentionally to face Sizemore and Suzuki, the two left-handers. It's matchup time.
And a good start for Fuentes to start this 6th inning. Here comes Ichiro. So far tonight, 0 for 2, but he leads the major leagues in hits this season. He has been on a tremendous run at the start of his career here in the United States, representing the Mariners, doing it so well. Takes a ball from Fuentes. Good time for Phil Garner to go to his left-hander. He brings in Fuentes with Sizemore, the leadoff hitter. Now Ichiro. Jeter is on deck. Mentioned that Ichiro leads the major leagues in hits. He has 129 on the season. And he is trying to figure out this left-hander who is just nasty. And that will prove it that Ichiro, with his great swing, was that far out in front and fooled.
Watch the lower side of the body leave on the slider away. Not a left-handed hitter alive that likes that pitch.
Here comes a 1-2. Ichiro grounds to short. Tough play. Eckstein has to use the arm. He got him. 2 down. Eckstein, Tim, always has or seems to have just enough. He doesn't have a great arm, but he can make the play and the hard throw when he has to.
Has the knack of knowing when to hurry and when not to. Good play.
Last year a starter for the National League. This year replacing Renteria, who he replaced in St. Louis when Renteria signed that big deal to go to the Red Sox. Had a rough year, committed 30 errors last year. Now he's more at home, would seem, back in the National League in Atlanta. And Eckstein is having a great year at short for Tony La Russa. With 2 out, nobody on, here is Jeter. And there is strike 1 from Brian Fuentes. Jeter on 0-1, out in front. What a good inning from Fuentes. His right finishes the play. Albert Pujols almost walked right into Derek Jeter coming down the line. Bottom of the 6th inning already. 2-1. NL coming to bat. The 2006 All-Star Game on Fox, sponsored by Rocky Mountain Refreshing Coors Light. Taste the cold. By MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by Chevy, baseball's #1 fan. Chevy, an American revolution. Beautiful night here in Pittsburgh, as it turns out. A number of changes into the bottom of the 6th inning. Konerko takes over at first. Tejada is in at shortstop for Jeter. Troy Glass is the third baseman, taking over for Rodriguez. Jermaine Dye is in right. And the new pitcher is Scott Kazmir. And on the first pitch, he gets Sanchez to ground to short, where Tejada, just into the game, makes the play 1 out. How good is Scott Kazmir?
22 years old, and he is already great. They're using that word for the young baby-faced left-hander for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He is something.
They'll deal with Carlos Beltran. I know about the trade a couple of seasons ago from the New York Mets for the Mets faithful, sending him to the Tampa Bay Devil Rays for Victor Zambrano.
Right.
Zambrano has been injured, and Kazmir seems to get better by the start. A 1-0 pitch. He threw a shutout, 2-hitter against the Boston Red Sox during the past week. And talking to Terry Francona of the Red Sox and David Ortiz after that start, they were stunned at how much progress Kazmir had made. And David Ortiz saying he just can't even see the slider that Kazmir is throwing to the plate. He can do it all.
Now, the development of the slider has made a world of difference for the young left-hander.
Here's a 2-1. Beltran, who's with the Mets, takes high 3-1. Question Mets fans are asking is, what if we had Kazmir? What if he didn't get away? A 20-year-old, when he won his major league debut, as Beltran out in front fouls it, still a full count. MLB.com, Boys and Girls Clubs of America, is the official charity of Major League Baseball. Together, they create a positive place for kids. Omar Garciaparra has yet to see action tonight, leading the National League in average as Beltran shoots one into left field, and it's caught by Gary Matthews Jr. Ball stayed in the air for a long time, and Matthews able to get there 2 out.
Gary Matthews Jr. usually gets there. One of the real emotional stories of this All-Star game. 6 different teams before his first All-Star selection. And he not only got to that ball, but he made one of the most spectacular catches of the season earlier this year. Unbelievable.
And you can even extend it beyond this season.
Right.
For the athletic ability he showed on this catch in Texas. Watch how he goes up on the wall and the way he catches the ball against Mike Lamb of the Astros. So far over the wall and not catching it with a backhand as Pujols hits it into center field. Back at the track and caught for the out by Grady Sizemore. We're already into the 7th inning here tonight. National League hanging on, leading 2-1 back after this from your local Fox station. David Wright, one of the stars for the Mets and for the National League tonight, homered back in the 2nd to tie the game at 1. Derek Turnbow, the flame-throwing right-hander, brings it. Ryan Howard takes over at first base. We're in the 7th inning, 2-1 National League, and the closer for the Brewers, Derek Turnbow, is on the mound. And the count goes to 0-2. At the plate is Paul Konerko. His first at bat since taking over for David Ortiz at first base.
And at the break, the Milwaukee Brewers 5.5 back of the St. Louis Cardinals. There are 20 teams that are 6 games out or fewer. 20 of the 30 teams.
And 0-2 from Turnbow. Down and away, and that's why when the trading deadline rolls around at the end of the month, you shouldn't expect to see a ton of trades because too many teams are still in contention and
good point
within shouting distance of a playoff spot, whether it's a division lead or a wild card position. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Konerko fights it off and fouls it. See the rain just spitting here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Konerko up now, Troy Gloss on deck, and then Michael Young. Derek Turnbow. The guy who was out there, picked up, given a chance with the Milwaukee Brewers. And he has certainly made the most of it as Johan Santana gets loose for the Twins out in the AL bullpen. Two balls, 2 strikes. And now a full count. Getting into the time of this game where you're going to start to see closers come in for each league. And for Milwaukee, they start the run here in the 7th with Turnbow. They also have Gordon and Hoffman. Ozzie Guillen has even more firepower at the end of his bullpen. 3-2 pitch and a line drive base hit to center. Leadoff man is on for the American League as Konerko gets the hit, and we will check in with Jeannie Zalasko.
Well, it's about the time of the game when even people at home are starting to wonder who is your early pick for MVP. So I found the right family right here. Sir, would you mind standing up? Would you mind just giving me your early pick for MVP?
Too early to say.
This is David Wright's dad. You're not even going to pick your son?
All right, I'll say right now he's one of the front runners.
Okay, Ron Wright, this is what I would expect from you. Everything we've heard about you and your son and your relationship, it's about towing the line and keeping things, not letting him get too big-headed, shall we say. So we're here to maybe get a little bit of dirt about your son, because everything does seem perfect.
He got into a food fight when he was in high school.
Okay, that's good stuff. Okay. Was it colorful?
I wasn't there, but I understand he got a day in-school suspension, and that's about the only dirt that I know that he did. Now, he's not living at home anymore, so it's he could be doing some things that I don't know about. But knock on wood, so far he hadn't given us an ounce of trouble, and we're as proud as we can be of him.
All right, what do you think about a shot here tonight?
I was excited, unbelievable. First All-Star game, first at bat. Very, very proud of him and excited. You know, keeping the National League in the game, and that's what we're about.
All right, we got Dad, we got the three brothers, Mom, and then the traveling coach here as well. You guys sit down and enjoy the game and keep pulling for the National League. They're telling me the right side is winning, guys.
All right, thank you, Jeannie. 2-1 is the count on Gloss with the tying run at first. Konerko. Good pitch from Turnbow, down and away, 2-2. Tim, I think as you look at the way this game has unfolded, Phil Garner has what he wants. He's got a late inning lead, albeit a 1-run lead. Now he can go to his closers, Turnbow, Gordon, Hoffman, and it's up to them to do the job against this American League lineup with all the power that they can send at you, not only in the lineup but coming off their bench. High hop to David Wright, and trouble getting it out of his glove for Sanchez, but a pick on the reach by Ryan Howard at first, that big target, and a 5-4-3 double play.
Big target, but a tough play for Howard. Sanchez can't get it out of his glove. The throw is high, so the body going one way, and the ball went the other. Good play by Ryan Howard to complete the double play.
Throw almost took off on Sanchez. Trouble getting it out of his glove.
Crawls into the web.
And so now with 2 out and nobody on, the batter will be Michael Young, who is the reigning batting champion in the American League. It's a rarity, but it happened this last year. A couple of right-handed batting champs, not only Michael Young, but the great Derek Lee of the Chicago Cubs, who unfortunately has been injured for the majority of this season. 2 out, nobody on, 1 ball, no strikes. And Young hits it in the air to right. Sanchez out. He's called off on the play by Holiday. 3 batters come to the plate in the top of the 7th inning. A hit, a double play, still 2-1. The National League on top as they come to bat in the bottom half. Right now, let's go to public address announcer Tim DeBacco.
Fans, please rise and honor America as we welcome Grammy Award-winning recording artist John Legend to sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. Oh, God bless America, my home sweet home. Oh, yeah. God bless America, my home sweet home.
The 2006 All-Star Game on Fox is sponsored by Flomax, by Subway Restaurants. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. And by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world. With any home run striking the MasterCard Hit It Here signs, one lucky fan will win 500 free flights courtesy of MasterCard. For more information, visit priceless.com.
500 round trips?
500 round trips. Someone won last night when Ryan Howard, on his last home run, hit the sign out in right. Johan Santana takes over. Jason Bay, another at bat. He takes a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Bay is 1 for 2, and Flash Gordon, Tom Gordon, is getting ready for the 8th. That's fouled out of play. Santana, the Cy Young Award winner for 2004. And over the last 5 years now, Johan Santana has compiled a 2.87 ERA. He is fantastic.
That is the lowest in the major leagues.
Better than Pedro Smoltz, Oswalt, and Halladay. Bay, on that great Santana changeup, strikes out.
That changeup, I don't think anybody squares up on the mound quite like Santana does. Squaring up, and that makes that changeup very, very effective. Same arm motion as the fastball. A choked fastball gets Bay.
And now Lance Berkman will come off the bench and bat for Derek Turnbow, who turned in a scoreless inning. 1 inning, 1 hit. That's it. And Berkman takes it down and in. Lance has 2 of the top 10 single season totals as far as RBIs for a switch hitter. He was a pick by his manager, Phil Garner. The 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Mark Redmond, a left-hander, getting loose out in the bullpen for the American League. That makes it 3-0 on Berkman. Berkman trying to get on in front of David Wright. That is outside, and a 4-pitch walk from Johan Santana. David Wright is coming up, and he started our Pepsi double play. Turned in the top of this 7th inning on the ball hit by Troy Gloss. Wright made the play. Sanchez had a tough time getting it out of his glove. But after throwing high, he had big Ryan Howard down there waiting. National League has its first base runner since a leadoff hit by Bay in the 4th. And the first pitch, a ball to right.
Also the first walk of the game. 5 straight balls now thrown by Santana.
Berkman on at first, and Wright takes it right down the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike. How about the combination that the Twins can boast with the 2 left-handers, Johan Santana and Francisco Liriano?
And behind the plate calling the pitches, Joe Mauer, leading the American League in hitting. But these 2 left-handers are really special.
A 1-1. Jam shot to short. Not hard hit. Out at second and out at first. Nicely turned by Tejada, the shortstop. Young to Tejada, on to Konerko, and on to the 8th inning of this All-Star game. Still NL on top, 2-1. 3 changes for the National League side. Miguel Cabrera takes over at third base. Carlos Lee is now in the game in left field, and on the mound, the closer for the Philadelphia Phillies, Tom Gordon. First up is Joe Mauer, leading the league in hitting. Tim, why is it so difficult, other than the obvious, for a catcher to lead a league in hitting?
Now lead the majors in hitting with the 378 average. The better the pitching staff, the worse your chances are to hit over 300. The reason for that, the pounding your left hand takes. And a lot of times your third, fourth, and fifth at bats later on in a ball game, you end up holding the bat with 8 fingers because you can't close the hand, the left hand, in Joe's case, in any catcher's case.
Except for Benny DiStefano of the Pittsburgh Pirates, a left-handed catcher.
Yeah. They, along with the Pittsburgh Pirates, also a left-handed catcher.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Mauer.
Good fastball from Gordon. But he is a special catcher. Only 2 catchers have ever led their leagues in hitting. It's been done 3 times, but by 2 catchers.
To the right side and foul. Oh. Joe Mauer has had a touch of gold for the Minnesota Twins. Catchers who won a batting title: Bubbles Hargrave, Ernie Lombardi. 1942, the last to do it. Highest average by a catcher all time, Piazza in '97 with the Dodgers. Gwynn winning the batting title that season, as that one skips in there from Gordon to the count 2-2. If you talk to scouts, first of all, they bring up the name bench, and they start to make comparisons. And obviously, Mauer's got a long way to go and a lot to prove to get to that level. And Johnny is here at the game tonight. And 2, they say just watching him play catcher, warm up a pitcher between innings, the way the ball shoots out of his hand. He is a tremendous athlete, and he is out number 1 here in the top of the 8th inning.
I think the one thing that is against Joe as a catcher is his size. He is 6'4½", and that often wears on a taller guy more than it would a guy of normal size, 6'1". But Johnny Bench, the best catcher in the history of the game all around, in my view.
Here's Gary Matthews Jr. His dad played in the All-Star game. His dad played with you.
Yes, he did.
The Sarge, Gary Matthews. And as you said, a real great story that Junior is here in this game. 14th father-son combo, and for Gary Matthews Jr., a lifetime .249 hitter. As he stands in there tonight, he's hitting .328. And a big reason why the Rangers are having the kind of season they're having.
Rangers tied with Oakland in the American League West. The Los Angeles Angels at Anaheim, 2 back, followed by the Seattle Mariners. It's anybody's division in the American League West, or both Western divisions for that matter.
That's low. 2-1 from Gordon. Matthews, and then the pitcher spot is next. And big Jim Thome is getting loose in the on-deck circle. Matthews gets a base hit through the left side. And that will bring Thome up, number 2 in the American League in home runs, behind David Ortiz, with a chance to put the AL on top with 1 swing. Let's go down to Kevin Kennedy.
Thanks, Joe. David, you want to prove to people that you belong in the All-Star game, so right away you got to go deep?
You know, I got a lot of practice last night. So after practicing last night, I felt pretty comfortable in there, and I just got a pitch I can handle my first at bat.
You are having fun, and you got to be having fun playing with the guy that got voted for the National League shortstop, Jose Reyes. Unfortunately, got hurt. Your thoughts on him?
He's an outstanding player. I love him. You know, we came up kind of through the system together. We both bleed blue and orange, and now get a chance to participate in my first All-Star game along next to him. Great guy and very energetic.
Could be playing together a long time on the left side, Joe.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. A couple of 23-year-olds and the pride of the Mets. And here's Jim Thome, who is now the pride of the Chicago White Sox, and the brilliant move by Kenny Williams, their GM, to pick him up from the Phillies. Runner goes, a shattered bat, and a ground ball to Sanchez for out number 2. Plane will be a little lighter going back to the south side of Chicago for Jim Thome. He'll leave that bat here.
Woo, that's a shatter job right there. My goodness.
Doesn't even give you a chance to talk about what Jim Thome is doing after hitting 7 home runs all of last year, fighting through elbow and back trouble. He gets traded to the Chicago White Sox, and he has made them, in my mind, a team that was the best in the major leagues last year, even better in 2006.
That's because of their pitching last year, and they've added thump with Thome.
Left-handed thump. Here is Sizemore, his second at bat. Grady struck out his first time. Tying run out at second base. with 2 out here in the 8th. And Sizemore grounds it to Sanchez, knocks it down, inning over. Gordon gets through a scoreless 8th inning. Bottom half rolls in. Sanchez made the play. Gordon celebrated after getting that final out. NL bats up 2-1.
Hey, Rod, if you're interested, there's a future for you in the beverage distribution industry.
The 2006 All-Star Game on Fox is sponsored by Holiday Inn, the official hotel of Major League Baseball. By Pepsi Complete, turn a fast and long-lasting double play against heartburn. And by Pepsi, it's the cola. Up above, tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear's new Eagle tire with Response Edge technology, featuring a carbon fiber reinforced sidewall for enhanced performance. We're into the bottom of the 8th inning. The National League side is batting against the closer for Toronto, B.J. Ryan. He's up on the count 0-2 to Brian McCann, the young catcher for the Atlanta Braves. There are the numbers for Ryan. That great ERA of 0.84, part of the big spending spree that the Blue Jays had over the offseason. Tejada takes care of McCann. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Pepsi is the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. It gives us our clutch performance the first half of the season. June 24th, the Fox Saturday Game of the Week. David Ortiz to Tom Gordon deep. More Pepsi clutch performances can be found at PepsiClutch.MLB.com, and be sure to watch for the Pepsi Clutch Performance of the Week during our Fox Saturday telecasts. Here's Eckstein on the inside corner for a strike from Ryan. Mark Burley and Bobby Jenks getting loose for the AL in their pen. Eckstein 0-2. David, a late addition. He was the guy that took the roster spot of Jose Reyes when he couldn't answer the bell with the stitches in his pinky on his left hand. 0-2. Fights it off. One of the best 2-strike hitters in the game is David Eckstein. San Diego Padres have one of the best closers ever, and he's getting loose out in the National League bullpen.
Greatest percentage of saves in the history of the game, Trevor Hoffman.
In the 9th inning, it'll be the top of the order for the AL. Eckstein hits it foul way out in front, hit it behind him. Still 0-2. Almost took Brad Henderson, trainer for the Pirates. Almost needed his own medical attention after Eckstein shot a foul over to the NL dugout. Eckstein strikes out, 2 down. Our game summary is brought to you by Flomax as we approach 11 o'clock in the East. For the American League, the offense has been held down to 4 hits. All night they've stranded only 2. And 2 home runs tonight. First, Vladimir Guerrero putting the AL up. In the bottom of the 2nd, David Wright answered with a shot to left. David Wright lines out to 3rd, rather Holiday, and the inning comes to a close. Holiday is the final out. Bottom of the 8th. Here we go in the 9th inning. AL bats down 2-1. Trevor Hoffman is into his 5th All-Star game, his 14th season of his great career out in San Diego, and number 2 on the all-time saves list with 460. He is a changeup artist. That is his best pitch. He is not a closer that comes in firing 98 miles an hour.
Not like Mariano Rivera. He is a fastball changeup guy and rarely gets beaten on his breaking ball.
There is a changeup, and Jermaine Dye hits a dribbler. 1 out. Jermaine Dye in his only at bat taps back to Trevor Hoffman. 1 out here in the 9th inning, and it's time for the Holiday Inn Look Again play of the game, brought to you by Holiday Inn, the official hotel of Major League Baseball. Beltran in the third inning, a base hit, and out at the plate, steals third, and it was big with 2 out. Pujols up because the difference in the game right now is a wild pitch. Beltran scores 2-1, and it's still 2-1. Top of the 9th inning, 1 out, nobody on for Tejada. Miguel Tejada takes a strike from Hoffman. Last year's All-Star Game MVP and the 2002 American League MVP with the A's. 1 out, nobody on. Hoffman trying to secure home field advantage for the National League in the upcoming World Series. 0-2 on Tejada. The National League trying to win for the first time since 1996. The AL had won the last 8 decisions with that tie mixed in. 14-3-1 the last 18 games. And now on another changeup, the National League is 1 out away from a 2-1 victory. If this score holds, it would be the lowest scoring All-Star game since 1990, when the American League won 2-0 and the National League had 2 hits. Tonight, the AL has 4. Here's Konerko, last hope for the AL. Crowd starts to climb back in it. Konerko, who was the 2005 ALCS most valuable player. In his 8th season with the White Sox, rips it to third, and it's a base hit. Cabrera was guarding the line, and Paul Konerko hit it right into the position for a 2-out hit.
And the American League will have a pinch runner, but you're right. Cabrera was on the line. Had he been playing straight up, the game's over.
Jose Lopez will come on and pinch run. That means that A.J. Pierzynski is the only American League position player that to this point has not been in the game. Glaus, strike 1. Troy Glaus with his 25 home runs, his 60 RBIs. Missed the first pitch from Hoffman. Tying run at first. 2 out. And a shot into left field. Over on the move is Lee. It takes a bounce and goes out of play. It's a ground rule double, meaning that Lopez has to stop at third. And it's second and third with 2 down here in the 9th inning.
That was a real break for the American League. Had that ball hit the fence, the carom would have taken it where the left fielder, Jason Bay, was. Or Carlos Lee, I beg your pardon. So a changeup to Glaus. And see, if that ball hits right in here, it goes that way. By bouncing over the fence, of course, it's a ground rule double, a break for the National League.
Still 2-1, second and third, and Young hits it down the right field line, foul. The reigning batting champion up for the second time tonight. He flied to right his first time up, and all of a sudden, the American League is 1 hit away from taking a 1-run lead. Lopez at third, Glaus at second, 2 out, and a shot foul. It's 0-2. Rivera getting ready just in case. And now with 2 strikes, this crowd back in the game. The 0-2. Line drive is a base hit into right center field. Young has delivered. The American League is back on top. Young will dig for third. Throw by Eckstein. Too late. Michael Young, a hero in the 9th inning for the AL. A A two-out rally, and the American League has regained the lead. A single by Konerko, a double by Gloss, and this two-run triple by Michael Young.
Single, double, triple, 2 runs for the American League here in the 9th inning. All with 2 out. 2 ground balls back to Hoffman, and then 3 straight hits. And Michael Young with a huge hit in the 9th inning.
And now with 2 out, a chance for another run as Joe Mauer steps in. Young, who is so often overlooked, one of the best hitters in baseball, period, steps up with 2 out and triples into right center field.
Won the American League batting crown last year.
The 0-1 pitch. Mauer hits it back to Hoffman, who knocks it down and ends the inning. But all of a sudden, in a blink, the American League is back on top. They led 1-0 after an inning and a half, and now after 8 and a half here in Pittsburgh, with Rivera coming in, 3-2 AL. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Trevor Hoffman now left to root for his National League teammates after blowing the save thanks to the 2-out 2-run triple by Michael Young. The American League bench reacting. So many players on that bench on teams that are front running for a playoff spot right now. Ozzie Guillen had it set up for Michael Young, who delivers. And now with Hoffman left standing there watching, number 2 on the all-time saves list. Number 4 is coming out and ready to pitch, and that is Mariano Rivera, who has been the best big game closer in the history of Major League Baseball.
Postseason and during the season for the New York Yankees. He is phenomenal.
Gloss moves over to first base. Lopez is in the game at third, near the bag, and the batter is Sanchez. He takes a strike from Mariano Rivera. Rivera, a 4-time World Series champion, 34 career postseason saves, including 9 in the World Series, both records. Sanchez reaching, it's 0-2. Freddie 0 for 1 in this game. On deck is Beltran, who's played throughout, and then Ryan Howard. The 0-2. Ball 1. Trevor Hoffman started the top of this 9th inning with a career All-Star Game ERA of over 10. Could not nail it down, and Sanchez grounds to third. Lopez to his left. Good play, 1 out. We came into this game talking about the American League's dominance. They lead World Series play 6-3 since 1997, 8-0-1 since '97 in the All-Star Game, and in interleague play they have dominated the National League here in 2006. Here is Beltran. Carlos Beltran had a leg up on the MVP award before the 2-out 2-run triple by Michael Young, and he takes a ball down and in. On deck is Ryan Howard, so there is thunder left for the National League. One ball, one strike.
Those of you folks who do not know Mariano Rivera, he throws one speed, a one-speed fastball. He crowds left-handed batters, and if they hit it on the good part of the bat, usually they pull it foul. More often than not, he breaks the bat.
Off his front foot, fouled, and it's 1-2. In fact, he's so tough on left-handed batters that there are some occasions where switch hitters will just go up and bat right-handed against Mariano Rivera. It was said early by Ozzie Guillen, if we have a chance and we have a lead in the 9th inning, my closer, even though he has Papelbon, B.J. Ryan, and his own Bobby Jenks, My closer is going to be Mariano Rivera. The 1-2. 2-2. In his career against Rivera, Beltran 3 for 12. The 2-2. Beltran just got a piece. As it stands right now, Andre Jones did not get into the game. Nomar Garcia-Parra, Scott Rowland, and Dan Ugla for the National League. Ryan Howard, the man on deck, and a home run derby here last night. The 2-2 to Beltran.
You will not succeed in touching them with your hands. But like the seafaring man on the ocean desert of waters, you choose them as your guides. And following them, you reach your destiny.
For 78 summers, destiny has brought the stars in alignment.
One summer's night,
They shine brighter
they seem closer.
Seeing them gather together
Forcefully opens the door
of imagination,
wonder, and awe.
The very first time they gathered, fate made a hero.
on the heels of leaving the game forever.
Once again, stand tall.
More than 20 years later,
Stan the man
led a courageous comeback charge.
And there it goes. A home run over the right field screen.
And sometimes stars collide. But when they're at their best,
The stars are truly remarkable to watch.
tonight, it is that greatness.
That belief
That when the finest take the field,
anything
anything can happen.
That's why we watch each summer with wide eyes, knowing that our heroes are out there. And if we reach far enough, if we believe, we may just be able to touch our dreams and touch a star. Tonight,
the world's greatest have